Morning guys, and welcome to this new tutorial. And today's tutorial we will make a dice roller game using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now first of all we need a text editor and a web browser. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our text editor, which is this one. For my case I use the Sublime Text. You can use Atom or anyone or any text editor you want or you like. Okay, so first of all let's create a folder, and this folder will be, let's give it a name of, for example, dice roller. Say dice roller. Okay, now I will just open the Sublime and drag the folder in it. Awesome. Now let's make this the full screen. Take the full screen and click on the folder, and you will see that the folder will be opened. Now right click, click on new file, then Command S in Mac, or if you are using Windows, you type or you hit Control S. Once you do that, you will get the let's say the path of your folder. So we need to name it index.html, and inside of this folder we need to create another file, or let's say a folder first, new folder, and this folder will take the images, and a new folder again, and this folder will take the JS or JavaScript files, and finally a folder which contain the CSS files. Awesome. Now for each of these files we need to fill a, for example, for the CSS we need to add a file called style.css, or name it as you want. Alright, so style.css. For the JavaScript we need to create a new file, and this file will take the name of, let's say, index.js. Awesome. Now what we need to do right now is go or jump into the index.html, but first of all let me tell you that we need some images of dice roller. You can go into Google and type dice roller, say PNG, and you will get a lot of dice roller. Try to get like this one for all of these from 1 to 6, as you see here. In my case I have this one. Let me show you these ones. Alright, I'll just do a copy and paste them into the images folder. Awesome. Now let's go back into our text editor. For the HTML I would just type HTML, and the Sublime will give me the structure of the HTML file. Alright, for the title I say dice roller game, and for the body I will say center and type, for example, hello world. Just for a test, let's go back into our Google Chrome. Let's exit this one, go to the dice roller folder, right click on the index, open it with the Google Chrome. Awesome, now our file is working. Now we need to link our CSS inside of our HTML. So let's go and type body, just to test for, say, the background color is going to be red, for example, and we need to add a link for the CSS under the title. So we are in the same folder, or we are in a folder called CSS/style.css. Sorry, let's go back, refresh. Now the CSS is working. What to do now is we need to add the index.js, but we need it to appear. If we link it in under the links, it will not, or some of the effects will not work. So what to do? We need to add a script at the front of the body, and this script will have the href or the source, and the source will be js/index.js. Now let's go back into the JS and say alert and hello user, for example. Hit save, go back, and awesome, we get the alert. Now everything is working correctly. We have linked our index and style CSS. Now the thing that we need to do is to link the font first. So let's go into Google Font, click on font, and let's see, for example, Montserrat, sorry, MO, yeah, this one, and let's take this one too. I like it. Now let's open this, do a copy for the HTML link, and go back into our links under the CSS, and let's give a comment for this, and inside of it say getting the fonts from Google Fonts. Awesome. The next thing we actually should do is to fill the information that we want to add into our website. Alright, so let's refresh. Nothing is on our page. So what to do, inside of the body here, we need to add a h1, and this h1 will be let's say refresh the page, or let's say just refresh the game. Let's just refresh. For example, when you click on refresh, you will get the informations or the dice roller inside of it. Awesome. Now what we need next, we need to add a div, and this div will take a paragraph, and this paragraph will say player 1, and under that we need to add a image. This image will take the source of the images slash, and will take the dice 1. Let's say that dice 6. Okay, let's say dice 6 dot gpg, oh sorry, png. Let's go back, refresh, we get our player with it game or dice roller. Let's copy that and paste it here. We need 2 divs to make the game works. Awesome. Now the next thing we should do is the footer. We need a footer, and this footer will take the designed by, let's say, smashshot.com, which is my website. Refresh, go down, we got our smashshot.com. Now let's do some design in our page. Okay, so first of all, let's make a div here and give it a class of container. Let's make it took the entire body. Awesome. The next thing we should do is to just make these like this one. Alright, so the next thing we should do is give a class for our images. So the class is going to be img, say img1, and for the image or for the player 2, let's give it a class of image2. Awesome. Now let's go into our style.css, and let's start with the container. So let's type container, and the container should take the text align equal to center. We go back and refresh. Our content will be in the center of the page, and let's give it a width of 17 or let's say 80%. Refresh, you will find that this will move a little bit to the left, and let's go back and make it centered again by just adding a margin. So the margin property should be let's say 30 pixel auto, which means that we need to center it in the center. Okay, now the second thing we need to do is to make the say the class of dice. We need to target this class by make the display of it to be inline block and text align to the center. Save and do a refresh. You will find that our player 1 and 2 will become in one line. Awesome. Now let's go into the body and give it a background. The background should be, let's make background color. I think background color will be, background should be this color. Let's go and do the refresh. So refresh. Nothing happened here. There is a problem. We'll try, yeah, this one. So it should take, yes, brackets. Awesome. Now the second thing we need to do is the H1. We need to target it, and let's give it a color of this one. Let's make it, sorry, say, yeah, great. So let's go back, refresh. Awesome. Now let's give it a font size. Font size should be 2 RAM. To refresh, nothing changed. What about 4? Awesome. Now let's give it a text shadow of 5 pixel and 0, and let's say black. Refresh. Looks great right now. Now we need to target or to get a font that we have made. So let's go back into the Google font and let's add Montserrat and other one. Geez, I think this one, more display. Yeah, alright, so now let's just copy the Montserrat and give it, or let's make it right here. Okay, for the paragraph, sorry, paragraph tag, let's say awesome. Let's go back, do a refresh to see, yeah, the player 1 has been changed. And now major, make it here, save, go back, refresh, and the font has been changed. The second option we need to do is to add a color or the same color to the player where the shadow, just do a copy. Alright, let's go back, do a refresh. Looks, I think here it should be 2 pixel. Yeah. Alright, so what we need next, we need to target the image, and the image should take a width of 18% in the page. Great. Now let's go back and look for the footer, and the footer should take a margin top of 20 pixel or 20%, and make it in text align to the center. We need to make a width of 18% too, and let's see how it looks. It looks done, I think, about 2%. No, I think, try to make, or give it 10. Alright, so for the margin, it's 10 for the top, and or let's just remove this to make it into center. Yeah, awesome. So what we need now is to do some JavaScript in our page. So let's test it out, the JavaScript, by doing a document dot query selector, and the selector we need to target is the h1. Just test our JavaScript, and the test one is the refresh. Alright, and we want to change it into something else. So let's say inner.html HTML equal to player game, for example, and don't forget the semicolon, do refresh, and as you see we have changed the text without using the HTML. Awesome. Now let's remove this and start making our website. First of all, we need something to generate a number randomly. For example, in here we have number 6, and for the page 2 and number 6. And if we want to make it look so random, or for each refresh, or when we refresh the page, the player or the button will, or sorry, the image will change to a random number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I want to make something called math.random, and this function here will give us a random number, but it will give us the number, a float number, for example, point like this one. Alright, but we need this to give us the numbers between 1 and 6. So what to do? Simply go and multiply it by 6, and now we should get our math random into a 6. Alright, so how to now if we have or we are in the same path, we need to generate a variable. This variable will make, for example, say random number equal to math random 6. So it will start from 0 to 6 here. Just a comment, do a refresh, do a inspect element, and go to the console. We will need, now we should find a problem here. Sees that fallback. Yeah, I think we have a problem. So I'll try to fix it. So we have variable. Yeah, we need to call it by typing console.log and say random number. Save, go back and refresh. As you see, we got a random number in here. So how to fix this? Just by adding another function called mathFloor, and inside of this mathFloor we will get a static number, as you see, or an integer. So now we have, as you see here, a random numbers from 0 to 5, but I want to start from 1 to 6. So how to do that? But just +1, which means that, hey, you said the program that, hey, start from 1 to 6. Alright, awesome. Let's now go and refresh. We'll get 3, 4, 1, 3, etc. Awesome. Now the second thing we need to do is going back here and start making our work. So if we click on the folder here, we have a name of the pictures and a number. We have, for example, dice 1, dice 2, 3, etc. So we need to target these numbers, just these numbers, and link it to the number, random number. For example, when I use a do I refresh here, he will get the image here will be changed. So how to do that? Simply we need to type, or we need to create a variable, and this variable will be under the name of player, say player 1 images equal to, and this player will have a, let's say, a path. This path will be images, and this one we are in folder images, and inside the images we have something called dice. All the pictures are the same name, dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we need to change, or took the number and change it with a random number. So we need to say random number, which is this one, this variable, and plus the format, which is the png.png. Awesome. Now we have finished with this. What to do right now is simply say document dot query, say query selector, and say h1, or sorry, not the h1, but we have already made a class for our images, which is the image1, so I'll target it. Now let's make this img1, and I want to set attribute for it, and this attribute will be the source, and the source is this one. We have source of the image. All right, great. So sources, and make a comma, and the source will change with the a player images, which is this one. Let's make it this smaller because we got a problem with the variable. Awesome. Now the player one images, as you see here, and now we make a semicolon. Do I refresh? Right now I have a problem. Let's go back and see where it can be. So we have here query selector, document dot query selector. We have targeted the images, which is this one, or the class, but here the problem is we need to specify that this is a class and not a tag. Alright, now let's go back and do a refresh. So our website is working and our random dice is going to be appeared. Awesome. Now the second option we need to do is just copy these files, or this code, sorry, and just change the number, for example 1, and the images to 1, and here make it 1. That's all. And let's copy this, say document 2 for the player images 1, which means that we don't want to make a similar random image. We need to make it separate, or we need to separate them by, for example, this will take a random number itself and this too. So let's do a refresh. We still have a problem because we are working with the same image. Make the image number 2. Yeah, we have the number 2, and player images 1, and this is player images 1. Awesome. So I'm just looking for if I have a problem here. Do a refresh. Awesome. Everything here is working correctly. So the third option, or third thing that we want to do, is the refresh. I want to change this to know which player is win the match. So how to do this is very simple, by adding a if statement. So if the player 1 image is bigger than player 1, so do a document dot query selector and select the header tag, and let's say inner HTML equal to, say, player 1 or first player win. Awesome. Now do else if player images 1 image is less than player images 1. What to do? Just copy this line, paste it here, and change it with the 2. If the 2 logic is false, we need to make the, or to type roll again. Alright, so let's go back and do a refresh. Alright, as you see here, we have the player 2 is the winner, which means that 5 is bigger than 3, so the player 2 is win. So what about the player 1? We do a refresh, and if we get the same numbers, then roll again. Awesome. The next thing, or the final thing I want to do is in the footer, I want to change the color to white. Do refresh for this. Awesome. Now, guys, this is how to make a dice game, and it is very simple and very quick. Sorry, I want you guys to make like this one, or this website, or let's say this game, on your own. Don't see the codes that we have written here, the index or JS, HTML and CSS. I want you to make your own game without seeing this structure. If you have a problem, feel free to contact or leave a comment. If you like and enjoy my course, please guys subscribe and see you in the next courses. Good luck.